The Super Bowl, America's great spectacle, and not just the Super Bowl. A lot of things have been happening recently, very strange. Well, not very strange, given America's current state, but I'm going to talk about the Super Bowl, and I'm going to talk about a few things that happened recently that have piqued my interest in the gun and freedom-loving community. Well, let's first of all talk about a little bit before the Super Bowl. The actor Philip Seymour Hoffman died, and I didn't even know who this guy was, except he played opposite Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic, according to Family Guy. Wink. But apparently he OD'd in his hotel room. Very tragic. But apparently you can't talk about people that have just died because it's going to upset me. Like, you know, when people make comments about 26 dead kids in order to push an agenda on gun control, apparently you can't do that. No, when one of their own dies, you can't. And when it's... Oh, I can't follow on that, so let's just do it anyway. Philip Seymour Hoffman OD'd on heroin. And the first thing the right likes to do is jump out and say, well, that proves it. Drugs are bad. That's it. We're done. Drugs are bad. That's it. They can't handle them. I'm actually kind of in the opposite boat on that one. I would say that it would have, be the lack of supply channels, lack of secure and safe supply channels. I mean, let's just say that the guy selling heroin out of his coat, it might not actually be 100% good. And the lack of proper information when we just keep saying drugs are bad, 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 okay? And, oh yeah, by the way, I just wanted to know, drugs are bad. That's also not very good. Abstinence doesn't work for pretty much anything, as history has shown. So, I kind of be in a little opposite view from the right, but don't worry, the left is just as bad because let's not forget, Philip Seymour Hoffman was entirely anti-gun. So we can't make fun of somebody that just died because people might get upset, yet this guy was okay with setting people up to die, taking away their right to defend themselves. That's not good either in my book. So, personally, it doesn't matter. Yes, if you feel for his family, and it sucks because, people lost a dad and a son, and I'm not sure if his parents are still alive, but I'm just talking here. It's not good. But then again, let's forget that he would have no problem just setting you out there like dangling a piece of meat in front of a lion. It doesn't, that's just the way things are. So that happened a little bit before Super Bowl. And what else happened a little bit before Super Bowl is what really piqued my interest in this whole thing. I'm not a huge sports fan. Sometimes I do like the big events, even though they're, oh man, America, oh, capitalism, oh, there's people starving in Africa, whatever. Then, I don't know, maybe they should, I don't know, eat the flies out their face. I don't know. Ooh, that was a mean thing to say. Don't say that. Oh, we can all have some fun here. That was a Family Guy joke too, by the way. But sometimes I do like the big events because sometimes they're good. Wasn't the case in this one, as anybody who saw it knew. But what I really enjoyed was the security theater that went on. Because, we don't have pretty much any rights here in this country. You can say them, you can claim that you do, but you don't, considering how easily they can be taken away with things like the New York SAFE Act and stuff getting banned. Oh, we'll talk about things getting banned here in a second for the Super Bowl. But you don't have pretty much any rights. And speaking of not having any rights, the security theater that goes on in pretty much any city, but I really noticed it this year in the big old Rotten Apple, actually next door to the Rotten Apple, New Jersey. I guess they thought appropriate for this event, football game, was to have Black Hawk helicopters and F-16 fighter jets. Black Hawk helicopters actually flying around, and F-16 fighter jets on standby because, the Islamic boogeyman might come up and fly a plane in, just like they did over 10 years ago. Yes, I'm glad they have the security there, though. They're keeping us safe from terrorists, because if they didn't, the terrorists might win, and we might have, a police state. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that, so thank goodness they have all these people there. And from what I hear from somebody that was there, the whole thing was pretty, it was a clusterfuck. It was an entire clusterfuck. They had the security theater, but they didn't actually do anything with real security. Kind of like the TSA. Oh, let's grow up the children, but this guy had a bomb in his shoe? Oh, he must have just missed that. Oh, darn. Like I always say, if there was an airport out there that had no TSA government-controlled security or anything like that, and you could just take your chances, oh God, I'm going to take my chances and have to protect myself. What? If there was an airport like that, or an airline that had a special section of the airport where you didn't have to deal with the TSA, I would give all my money to that. That would be the only one I ever flew on. I would even pay more money for it. Because the TSA is not only one of the greatest threats to freedom currently in America, it's also a gigantic farce. If you think it makes the planes any safer, well, you're misinformed, let's just say that. And oh yes, and let's not forget the TSA, which, it's just at the airports. You just don't fly if you don't want to deal with the TSA. Just don't fly. The TSA, of course, we're at the Super Bowl. What the hell do they have to do with the Super Bowl? But you have to take public transit to get to the Super Bowl, like trains and stuff. So I guess The TSA's there too! Oh, are you trying to tell me exactly what we said was going to happen? Where if you have a big government agency like the TSA invading people's rights just at the airport that you can avoid, it's going to spread. So pretty soon, if you want to frickin' walk out your door, the frickin' TSA is going to be there. Are you saying that actually happened? Darn, it's like history repeats itself. But yes, don't forget they were there too, in their with their actual assault rifles, not the ones that they would claim are assault rifles, but actually aren't. They were there with their dogs and assault rifles and all that good stuff. And of course, they didn't make anything any safer. From what one of the guys said, they were just basically, some of them were opening bags, looking in there, nope, nothing in there, and that's it. I mean, not paying attention really to anything. It's just all a big theater and a farce, just like the TSA and all that security stuff is. Anyway. So that's before the game. I'm like, this is, of course, obviously we've lost our Second Amendment rights because not only is it, the Super Bowl, and oh, goodness, you better not have any way to protect yourself in the Super Bowl. That's what the government's there for. But it's in New York and New Jersey, basically one and the same in that area. Anyway, and you lost your Second Amendment rights there anyway. Could you imagine taking a gun to New York City? Could you imagine exercising your rights in New York City? Are you insane? I don't even want you to have the right to decide what you put in your body. A gun? You must be crazy. So, I was all interested about that, the security theater. Well, the game itself, big blowout. The Broncos won, and some people think there's a conspiracy theory that the game was rigged. I don't care about that. Some of the things that were interesting with the Super Bowl commercials, like the Budweiser one with the puppy. But in all reality, there was supposed to be like a Daniel Defense commercial, an AR manufacturer commercial on there, and that was banned. They weren't going to show that. Now, I don't know who banned it. I don't know if Fox banned it or if the FCC banned it, but honestly, I don't care. I would definitely say it has to do more with the government than Fox, because let's just say Fox is not entirely known for an anti-gun stance, but, people get crazy when they get that much money anyway. But it doesn't really matter who banned it. I say that the government had their hand in there a little bit somehow, because look at something like the FCC and the standards and Coalition of Standards and Practice, whatever the fuck it is. They make ridiculous decisions for ridiculous reasons, and sometimes I think that the networks kind of preemptively censor themselves, so the government, which free speech, censors them. Like, for example, take the human body, which I know is absolutely terrifying for most people. Like if you ask some kid, some impressionable young kid, like, I don't know, 14, 15, 16 years old, you ever seen a nipple? No. I'm sure that's exactly what they say, so we need to keep our kids safe from that sort of thing. If say you had a racy ad like that, like, say, I don't know, about a beer commercial or something, and they showed a nipple. I know it's a terrifying thought. That definitely would not be allowed in the free speech, First Amendment, FCC's eyes. So if you have an ad like that and the network sees it, they're probably just going to pull it right then and there, and people will think, hey, they pulled it, but in reality, they're just kind of covering their ass because they know that the government's going to pull it anyway. So, yeah, the AR ad Daniel Defense, which I believe promoted safe firearms, responsibility, and ownership, which is a terrifying thought for the left anyway. They pulled that. Again, I don't know if it was the FCC or if it was Fox. But again, they'll show Jack Bauer, which, motherfucking Jack Bauer, right? 24 is coming back. They'll show ads like that, cocking his Heckler & Koch P30. He doesn't have the USB compact anymore, I don't know. But teaser for 24 coming out May 5th. Can't wait for it. And the last commercial where he, basically, if you didn't see it, it's going to take place in London, and there was this overturned car, and it had the British flag on it, the Union Jack, and then you saw a couple bullet holes in there, and then the camera turns around, and it's Jack Bauer, and he's got Chloe, he's carrying Chloe in his arm, and they're walking through the streets of London. Lots of guns, lots of fun and stuff like that. But, fantasy, action stuff, the kind of stuff that scares people from guns if they're ignorant. But they will not show an ad promoting safe firearms ownership. That's too much. But I can't really fault 24. I do enjoy 24, but I can fault whoever made the decision not to show the safe and responsible firearm ownership. I can definitely fault that. And then, what else happened? Oh, well, we've talked about the lefts. Let's talk about the right a little bit. This one is absolutely hilarious. The Coca-Cola ad. This has created controversy. Now, I didn't actually remember the ad all that much. I think it was somebody singing America the Beautiful, which I guess some people think is our national anthem. According to some of the stuff I've read, saying, I don't think people in different languages should sing our national anthem, even though America the Beautiful, I guess America the Beautiful is now our national anthem, whatever. people, basically what happened is it was an ad for Coca-Cola, meaning it had nothing to do with Coca-Cola, just like all the other ads. Um, and it was people singing "America the Beautiful," and they did it in different languages, and this had the right fuming. This America, you speak English in America, you can get out. You speak English in America. No, there's a couple reasons that I understand that this is thinly veiled racism as opposed to actual patriotism. One is we know that this is thinly veiled racism. It's people that basically don't like the Mexicans because of the problem with all the illegal Mexicans that we have here. They just paint that broad brush with all of them. And I can assure you of this for a couple of reasons. A, for whatever reason, people think that English is America's language, forgetting that what is it, the most popular language in the entire world. And B, English came from England, not America. Don't tell anybody that, though. For all I know, if the whole ad was in English, maybe they're honoring England. You never know about that stuff. Myself, I would say that, hey, if you have people in different languages honoring this country, that's a good thing. That's, hey, more power to this country. And another thing is, I guarantee you, if they were speaking something like, I don't know, Italian. My friend and I were at a Italian restaurant the other day, a pizza place, a very good one. And the people behind us were speaking Italian. I mean, like, right off the boat Italian place, like, legit Italian place. And they were speaking Italian behind us, and I couldn't even fathom coming in and saying, "Hey, you goddamn wops, I'll tell you what, this America, you better." I really, really don't see that happening. I don't see the racist outbursts happening if, basically they're just being racist against Mexicans. Well, I guess there was a few other races in there they could have been, but I understand how they play the game when they thinly veil their cause in patriotism or religious freedom when they want to ban gay marriage, as if it somehow affects their freedom to not have a gay marriage if other people are. I don't know. I can't follow it. But, they're just putting a veil on it. So, the right is just as guilty during the Super Bowl, and that probably, I don't want to say pisses me off more or stuff, but when you can do something like that, you want to say, yes, freedom, you better not touch my guns, you better not touch my Bible, but I will touch your language, you will speak my language. That's not okay in my view. I mean, there's no place for that. And oh my god, I said there's no place for. I'm like Andrew Cuomo saying there's no place. And well, there's a bit difference between me and Andrew Cuomo. I don't think that anybody has a right to tell other people what they should ban, and Andrew Cuomo wants to ban other people from doing things. That's the big difference between me and Cuomo. Some people get that a little confused sometimes from some of the comments I read. So the Super Bowl goes on. We've banned the AR commercial, and people get all flipped out about the multicultural people singing their language's song or some nonsense like that. And then we go into the Super Bowl, which was an absolute fucking joke in my mind. First of all, somebody I'd never even fucking heard of singing songs that I don't care about, and then a bunch of people that looked like they just broke out of prison, which I later found out were the Red Hot Chili Peppers come out, and one looked like he was a white supremacist, one looked like he was out of his mind, I think there was a guy wearing white tights. It was like he had shorts on, and then below that was like white tights, and they had like musical instrument patterns on there. I don't know. I didn't know tights were fashionable for men recently, but hey, sign me up. It was a terrible halftime show, which I'm not surprised because they've kind of decided the last couple of halftime shows based on, stupidity. Let's just say, zombified population currently likes, that's what they'll go for. I mean, heaven forbid you have, an established band that, people that are over the age of 20 might know or be familiar with, or even have a few. If you're going to have, like this new Bruno Mars person, then maybe you should also have on there somebody like, Bruce Springsteen, REO Speedwagon, just somebody that everybody can enjoy. If you want to talk about multiculturalism, then don't turn around and just stick us with somebody that nobody knows or likes. I don't know. But, the game went on. It was just a big blowout. It was kind of a blowout after halftime. But I just kind of watch it for the whole spectacle and see things going on. The fact that those people pay $1,000 for a ticket to go to that is insane, but that's their choice. But when I see the videos of like what some of the train stations look like down there, and knowing that they're just giving up all of their rights when they go down there, is just insane to me. And then the greatest thing, I think that, like I said, I think one of the things that pisses me off the most is the controversy the day after. Speaking of controversy, okay, we bashed the right for a little bit. Let's go back to the left. I'm actually surprised at the left behaving themselves for once. There was a commercial on, and I don't remember what it was advertising, so it tells you it was not a very good commercial. But from what I remember, it was like they're walking down like a white hallway, and there was different pop culture icons up, like different things that were like currently in the news or whatever, and one of them, was the guys from Duck Dynasty. I thought, oh my goodness, we're not going to hear the end of that. We got gay bashing, oh, the Fox supports gay bashing. I thought that's all we were going to hear, but surprisingly they didn't. At least I haven't seen the controversy about it. I'm really surprised at that. Having Duck Dynasty on there in the current political climate, oh my goodness. But the game itself sucked. It's just funny because all the politics that happened around it and shortly before, like whatever, the Philip Seymour Hoffman, and then after with all these controversies coming out for the stupidest reasons you could possibly imagine. It's just too much. It's just, I mean, it's actually been a little bit funny. And Punxsutawney Phil, yes. Punxsutawney Phil, that's another thing that happened just recently, because I think the Super Bowl was on Groundhog Day. I think Groundhog Day was yesterday. I think it's funny because I didn't know this, but Groundhog bit Michael Bloomberg, so the Groundhog knows what's going on. And then, like, de Blasio, like, threw him or something? I think the Groundhog knows to avoid those people. That is one fucking smart groundhog. I used to just write him off as, it's kind of a myth. Groundhog sees its shadow and stuff, it's kind of stupid. But if he's smart enough to bite Bloomberg and run the fuck away from de Blasio, that groundhog knows what's going on. We have 6 more weeks of winter coming on. You have my word on that. That groundhog knows the deal. So I think that about wraps it up. Did you guys enjoy the Super Bowl? I doubt many people enjoyed the game, especially if they're Broncos fans. But did you enjoy the halftime show? What did you think about the whole spectacle? And I'm so sick of hearing that stupid, oh my god, all this bunch of capitalists spending money on advertisement. I think they should be giving the money to Africa. Well, if you had the money, I wouldn't tell you where to put. Well, I'd probably tell you where you could shove it, but I don't think I would be telling you where to put it either, so why don't you just not worry about it? But, yeah. Did you have a favorite Super Bowl commercial? Come on, we all know it's the Budweiser one with the puppy and the Clydesdales. Come on. What was your thoughts on Super Bowl and this whole security theater? Are you on the mindset that, yes, we need security because the Islamic boogeyman is going to blow us up? Or are you in the mindset that, if we keep this crap up, the terrorists really have won? Even though it's not going to change, they're going to keep the crap up anyway. It's nice to talk about it. So, what are your thoughts on everything? I'd like to hear it. And as long as you had time, food, and beverage, had a good time, that's all that matters, right? So, thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.